said, hey, what you looking at? I said.
Welcome to the wonderful world of dodgy movies and TV. I am your host, movie and TV Mistress. This week I am reviewing a film from 1990. One of those buddy cop films that were very popular at that period, and not one of the good ones. This week's review is A Gnome Named Gnorm.
Welcome to Upworld. He's an LA cop. He's a gnome. Right, a gnome. He's hot on the trail of $1 million. He's after the Lumen. Right. Meet Gallagher and Gnorm. Two guys with nothing in common.
Giant robots.
Well, almost nothing.
Take it easy, will you? You gotta concentrate.
They've got to work together and get it together before everything blows apart. Upworld. The normal, it's not.
Or in some areas, Upworld. So, as you can see from the trailer, this film stars Anthony Michael Hall. You might remember him from The Breakfast Club, National Lampoon's Vacation, Weird Science, any John Hughes film that was big in the 80s. Yeah, this was after the geeky side, but not quite rid of the geeky side. Before he was the jock and the horrible boyfriend in Edward Scissorhands, and before Dead Zone, there's this awkward movie. Also, we have Claudia Christiansen from Babylon 5. Yes, I remember her as Commander Susan Ivanova.
Firm Survey 1, upon arrival you will report for debriefing. And just one more thing. On your trip back, I'd like you to take the time to learn the Babylon 5 mantra. Ivanova is always right. I will listen to Ivanova. I will not ignore Ivanova's recommendations. Ivanova is God. And, if this ever happens again, Ivanova will personally rip your lungs out. Babylon Control out.
And lastly we have Jerry Orbach. Yes, Jerry Orbach. Baby's dad from Dirty Dancing. But what most people remember him as is that cop in Law and Order. So what's this about? Okay, I know I haven't mentioned Gnorm yet, but we'll get to Gnorm. This is a film from 1990. It was originally filmed in 1988, so explains the slight geekiness of Andy Michael Hall still. And it's directed by Stan Winston. Yes, the guy behind all the special effects in some great movies. I could list loads, but I won't. Anyway, this is one of his rare occasions where he directed. Now, the only way I can think that they pitched this film was, okay, so, you know Beverly Hills Cop and Another 48 Hours or 48 Hours, right? Let's take that idea and cross it with The Dark Crystal. Gnorm, and I am not mispronouncing his name, by the way, is a gnome, and I'm not mispronouncing that either. I know we all say it's gnome and it should be norm, and even though there's a G, it's a silent G. Now, according to Gnorm in the film, it is pronounced gnome and Gnorm.
Puny spitter. Okay, I spit. Now you spit it out. Now what's the deal with this rock?
Lumen, make our world bright. Our food grow.
Is it like the sun?
Lumen see Upworld sun grow bright again. Each 10 of your years.
You bring the lumen to the sun, you expose it to the sun, and it recharges itself?
Yes. Now it's time. If Lumen die, my people die.
Now, your people, your world, you mentioned this before. Now what are you talking about here? What are you?
Gnome.
A gnome. And can you grant wishes, gnome?
No, can you?
Wise ass, huh? All right, so you're a gnome. What's your name, gnome?
Gnorm.
Gnorm. Right, I'm gonna stake out with a gnome named Norm.
Yep. Stakeout.
First of all, if you were a gnome, you would know that the G in gnome is silent. It's gnome, okay?
No, it's not.
Don't push it with me.
Gnorm warrior.
Yeah, you're a warrior. Just remember who's calling the shots here, okay, pal?
Jokes ensue. Anyway, so Dark Crystal. You have a couple of gelflings. Yes, I have seen Dark Crystal. You have a couple of gelflings, and they have to take a part of the Dark Crystal and keep it away from the Skeksis, you know, stuff. Look, it's been a long time since I saw Dark Crystal. I'm waiting for the prequel series to come on Netflix, and then I can rewatch and get my head around what exactly was going on in the Dark Crystal. I was more of a Labyrinth chick, okay? What can I say? Anyway, Gnorm is a gnome, and there is this crystal, see the similarity, that needs to be taken to the surface, i.e. our world, hence the other title of the film being Upworld, to get this crystal in the sun so that it can light up the underworld where the gnomes live. Okay? That's the Dark Crystal pretty much kind of plot, except that Gnorm isn't meant to be one of the guys that should do this. He's nicked it because he wants to get a girl, because he likes big tatas and bazumbas, as he calls them. Anyway, while that's going on, Anthony Michael Hall is a detective who is trying to show that he is a good detective and has gone undercover to help stop a diamond ring thief thing. Anyway, the guy who's going to sell him some diamonds gets blown up by somebody, and the only witness is Gnorm, who doesn't understand what he saw. Yes. And the only person who sees Gnorm is Anthony Michael Hall, who was knocked out during the explosion and so didn't know what happened. And so they work together to find out what happened to the diamond thief that was blown up and who is responsible. And also, mid this storyline, at some point somebody steals the crystal, or as Gnorm calls it,
Lumen!
Yeah, he calls it lumen. Why not? Because it illuminates. Hello. Anyway, they work together, they hate each other. It follows the classic buddy cop movie tropes of meet each other, hate each other, get to like each other, split up, get back together, i.e. it's a romantic comedy with buddy cops. If you watch a romantic comedy and you watch a buddy cop movie, you will know that they have the same storyline. Meet, hate, get together, split up, and get back together. They're exactly the same. Lethal Weapon, anyone? People, watch Lethal Weapon. And then watch Bridget Jones's Diaries. And Colin Firth and Bridget Jones are Murtaugh and Riggs. Just saying. So, there's nothing really bad about this film. The special effects are good. Gnorm is brilliant. He does look a bit like a gelfling, so there is, for me, when I was a kid and I saw this, I actually thought it was a Jim Henson film. So I didn't realise until I rewatched this film recently that actually it was Stan Winston, and that's Stan Winston special effects. Yeah, I watched some really weird films in the 80s and 90s that involved small creatures or people that were dressed up as other things. So like, you know, Howard the Duck, small person. Ed Gale. Then you have Child's Play. Also, Ed Gale. No, this one, I don't believe Ed Gale was in it. But would have been funny if Ed Gale had been. And also, it is a kids' film, it is a family film, but it's got a lot of adult humour. And the thing is, people, you need to lighten up. Back in the 80s, tits were everywhere. And no one had a problem with people talking about tits, hoo-has, tatas, whatever you want to call them, bing bazoombas, whatever. I grew up on Quantum Leap. There's an entire episode of Quantum Leap where Al, while talking to Dr. Ruth, lists off every name he can think of for breasts before he finally says breasts, because he has issues. Women have tits, men sometimes have tits, and if other people find those attractive, what's wrong with that? So don't think that this movie is not appropriate for children. It is very appropriate for children, because kids will laugh at anything and will laugh at the tits jokes. Seriously, that's what I did as a kid. And it is just a harmless piece of buddy cop film. It's kind of like Cop and a Half, maybe a bit of Top Dog, but it's a lot better than Top Dog. But you know, it's one of those weird buddy cop films that they did in the late 80s, early 90s. At some point I will review a buddy cop film that might sound very similar to a Jackie Chan film, but actually stars Pat Morita and Jay Leno. So at some point I will watch Collision Course, because what were they thinking? But then again, you could say that about this film, or Cop and a Half, or Kindergarten Cop, because what were they thinking in the 90s and late 80s, because this was filmed in the late 80s, so maybe they were trying to make up for the fact that everything was uber violent in the 80s with Lethal Weapon and RoboCop and Highlander, and then we get Highlander cartoons where they don't decapitate the characters because it's a kids cartoon series and no one wants decapitation on kids TV. But kids have already seen the film, people. Seriously, I don't have a problem with kids cartoon shows based on movies that I watched as a child. I just find it really odd when they try to change them because the film that the kids have watched and this cartoon's based on is super violent. RoboCop, the cartoon series. Anyone? No? Okay. Sorry, back to Gnome Named Gnorm. Yeah, I like Gnorm. And I prefer that title of this movie. I don't mind the title Upworld, but I always found it hilarious that it was A Gnome Named Gnorm and you had to pronounce the G, because, well, if he's a gnome and he says it's pronounced Gnorm and Gnome, then he's the one who knows. Anyway, I would highly recommend, if you get a chance, it is on Amazon Prime, to check out A Gnome Named Gnorm, or Upworld, depending on where you live in the world and what title they choose to put it on Amazon Prime or on YouTube or wherever you're watching it. But it's one of those rare gems of Anthony Michael Halls that you probably don't remember, or if you do, you watch the same stuff I did as a kid. So next week I will be back with another review, and I will tell you all about what I've been up to, and thanks for watching. So, remember what I always say, folks, there's a lot of dodgy movies out there, and remember to hit that subscribe button, comment down below, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, you know it, and I know it, and when you hit the subscribe button, if you hit that notification bell that pops up over here, it will notify you when I upload, because I know I'm not uploading on a schedule yet, and I apologise, but at some point I will get this going, and at some point I will also make a little video to tell you a bit more about me and about what I'm up to. So thanks for watching, folks, and I'll see you all next week. Bye!
I said, hey, what you looking at?